lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go, show recap prediction sports
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go.
What's going on, everybody? It's the EVP from the EVP Show. I'm back. It's been such a long week. First, I want to apologize to everyone. Obviously, I wasn't meant to have a 7 or 8 day off in that stream, but my computer said I have a different idea. So, yeah, I had to get pretty much the whole hard drive thing rebuilt on it. Had like 4 or 5 viruses on it, and then I go to start to stream up tonight, and it completely kicked me off here. So I have to remake the entire stream, or I had to redo the entire YouTube stream. So it was not letting me want to go. I was going live on X, but kept kicking me off of YouTube. So, but we're back. I'm back. Like I said, I do apologize to everybody for being off for over a week. Definitely wasn't my intended plan, especially coming out of the Clash. Didn't even get to do the Clash in Italy recap show. So a lot's went on since I've been live. Been a little over a week now. Pretty much missed every show. Well, starting at, I believe it was Clash in Italy, something like that. Maybe a little bit before. I'm not quite sure. It's been a long time. So thank you guys, obviously, for the messages and all that. It wasn't anything wrong with me. It was a computer issue. But I appreciate you guys being patient with all of that and understanding. But I'm back. In a way, it was kind of good, I guess, to have a little break, but I didn't really want to be out this long. I never want to be out this long where I have to miss every single show for an entire week. So I missed SmackDown last week, and then I missed the Clash in Italy recap, and then Raw, and NXT. I think it would have been a week Friday. I'm not sure. But I'm back. Like I said, we're going to finish out the week strong and then head into next week. I got a full week. Well, not a full week next week, but we have 5 days worth of stream coming up next week. Same schedule as normal when there is no PLE. But also, I haven't really put the tweet or the post out on X yet, but NXT had made the announcement, I believe it was during the daytime Tuesday, about the Great American Bash coming up. I believe it's June 28th, which is going to be, I believe it's either a day before. I think it's a day after. It's going to be the day after the United Champions PLE coming up in Saudi Arabia. So I believe that's the 27th. So instead of me doing 2 prediction shows when I have back-to-back PLEs, one on Saturday and one on Sunday, it's going to be easier for me just to do one big prediction show. The cards are usually not super long, especially for Night of Champions. I don't think we'll get more than 5 or 6 matches. And I'm sure it's going to be probably about the same for Great American Bash for NXT. So I am planning on doing one big, huge prediction show for Night of Champions and NXT Great American Bash. Then I'll recap. I don't believe I'm going to be able to do Sunday Night Scoop with the NXT PLE being on that week, but I will do a recap of the NXT Great American Bash. Also, the day on that Saturday when I'm normally off, I will be recapping WWE's Night of Champions coming up on the 27th of June from Saudi Arabia. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. I haven't made the post out yet, but if you are, once I put the post out there, if you can just comment on it. But it is going to be a multi-event prediction show. We're going to go ahead and predict the United Champions PLE and Great American Bash on at the same week. It'll be Wednesday. I have to look at my calendar and see what the date is on that. I believe it's the 23rd, 24th of June. That's when we'll be doing the big prediction show, and we'll try to get a full panel in here, and we'll go through and we'll do both PLEs in one night. Be a little bit longer stream, but you can normally run through it fairly good time. I mean, it's not going to be as many matches as WrestleMania, so shouldn't be too bad. But you got to take make sure you keep a lookout for that post. Probably make it Saturday. I don't have a stream Saturday, so I'll probably go ahead and put it out there. I am looking for a few new people to come on. Obviously, I have my core that come on usually for every one, and I'm sure I have to hopefully get a few of those back. But if you haven't never been on, you see my post on X, make sure you comment. It gives you opportunity to come live on YouTube. Get your name out there. I don't know, something's wrong with mine. Let's see. Oh, I have the right layout. Yeah, do you guys be on the lookout for that? Should have the post out Saturday, but it's going to be one big prediction show. We're gonna be predicting Night of Champions and NXT Great American Bash all in one night. So it's just a lot easier for me because I don't have a lot of free days. And the PLEs are back-to-back days. So instead of doing two separate prediction shows for a 5 or 6 match card, then we're just gonna go ahead and combine them. But like I said, I appreciate you guys' patience. I'm glad to be back. It feels like forever. But energized, ready to go. Going to cover the TNA. I'm live for the TNA Impact recap show. I was hoping to get back for NXT, but computer wasn't ready yet. But I'm live. Going to go ahead and break down everything that went down on TNA tonight. And then I know that WWE is overseas. The Raw recap shows are going to be a little bit earlier. A lot earlier. I'm going to do them at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. But the SmackDown recaps are going to be the same time. I don't usually get to watch it until 8 p.m. Eastern. I watch it on USA. I know it'll be all over the internet. A lot of people are going to watch it on the VPN through Netflix. 2 p.m. I believe it. 2 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, 2 p.m. Eastern, I believe, tomorrow. But I'm going to go ahead and recap it at the same time that I normally do on Friday night. I'm sure everybody have done seen it by now, which I'm sure a lot of people want to get it out of the way. SmackDown something great. So I do have a show tomorrow. Obviously, we'll be recapping everything that goes down on SmackDown. And Sunday, I had to miss doubleheader Sunday last week for the Clash in Italy recap. I haven't really got a chance to talk about that or the King and Queen of the Ring. And then I missed last week of LFG. Obviously, my computer was still tied up. But this week we're back for Sunday Night Scoop. We haven't been back in a couple of weeks because of the PLE this past Sunday. But I have a lot of news to talk about with everything that's coming up from the King and Queen of the Ring and some WrestleMania stuff. Just a lot of news that I haven't been able to put out the news for you guys for 2 weeks. So make sure to tune in on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for Sunday Night Scoop with the EVP at Sunday 6 p.m. Eastern. And then I'm back later on Sunday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern for LFG Season 3. I believe it's Episode 7. It's getting on up there. We're getting about over halfway. I think it's over halfway done with LFG. So it's been a fun season, but going to go ahead and kick off the Thursday, June 4th, 2026 TNA Impact recap show. Make sure if you guys are watching live on YouTube, you hit the like button on the stream. And if you are subscribed, I did get a couple of new subscribers when I was gone, which can't beat that. Got some notifications that I got 2 or 3 new subscribers. So thank you to whoever. I couldn't really see who it was, but if you are subscribed, make sure you turn on the notification bell. You will get a reminder for when I go live, which I'm gonna try to be going live a lot. Basically a brand new computer, so I shouldn't have any more issues. Let's go ahead and get started. This is the TNA Impact recap show live here on the EVP show, Thursday, June 4th, 2026. And it was a pretty decent show where TNA Slammiversary is the same weekend as Night of Champions and also the same weekend as NXT Great American Bash. And then there's an AEW pay-per-view the same weekend. So there's a lot of wrestling coming up at the end of June. But we have the TNA Slammiversary pay-per-view coming up. And there was a match that was announced tonight. Li Ying Lee, the women's TNA Knockouts champion, will defend against her former best friend, which I don't know why. She had a match against Mr. Elegance tonight. Obviously, we'll go into that. Not really a big fan of that. She will defend against Xia Brookside live. I believe it's June 28th. TNA Slammiversary. So make sure you guys tune into that, or record it, go back and watch it. But tonight was a pretty decent show. The main event was pretty good. There was a lot of choppy stuff, but I didn't watch TNA last week, so I'm glad to be back. Glad to be watching some wrestling. I did watch Raw, SmackDown. I did watch Clash in Italy. Didn't get a chance to really talk about that. Maybe I have time to go through the whole Clash in Italy and stuff. Maybe I'll have time to do that on Monday. We'll see. Obviously, the King, Queen of the Ring are in full effect now. We had Io Sky qualify on Monday, as well as Obafemi, which I'll kind of touch on all that Sunday on Sunday Night Scoop. But this is the only thing about TNA is majority of these shows are taped, so it's really hard to get you guys a lot of good information. But we're going to do the best that we can do. I did catch the show, so I was able to watch it tonight. But it was taped from the Sacramento Memorial Auditorium in Sacramento, California. In the main event, we're going to see the Righteous, Vincent, and Dutch will be squaring off against their longtime rivals, Broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero, Jeff Hardy, in a Wicked Gardens match. And it was definitely wicked. It was very wild. With the Righteous having unsuccessfully dethroned then TNA World Tag Team Champions Matt and Jeff Hardy at TNA Genesis on January 17th. And the March 28th episode of Thursday Night Impact, Vincent and Dutch teased the inaugural Wicked Gardens match in the video from last Thursday's edition of TNA Impact. I didn't catch that, but also tonight, TNA Director of Authority Santina Marella will be joining forces with Indy Hartwell. They will be in a mixed tag team match against Santina Marella's daughter, Ariana Grace, former women's TNA Knockouts champion, and her fiance, Shannon Stacks Lorenzo from Birthright from NXT in a mixed tag team match. Tensions between all 4 competitors rising over the course of the last several weeks. Shannon Stacks scored a pinfall victory last week on TNA Impact against Santina Marella with some assistance from Ariana Grace. The moments that followed the match, Ariana Grace berated Santina Marella until Indy Hartwell came out to his aid. As I mentioned before, Li Ying Lee, the women's TNA Knockouts champion, will be defending at Slammiversary against Xia Brookside, but tonight she's in a weird match. She will be going one-on-one with the Elegance Brands, Mr. Elegance, in a intergender one-on-one non-title match. Mr. Elegance looked to become involved in the Women's Champion Challenge last Thursday, But former MMA fighter Keith Jardine chased him to the back. This opened the door for the leading lead former best friend Zaya Brookside to pin her and secure a shot at her TNA Women's Knockout World Championship, which will take place at Slammiversary. Also tonight, we're going to see Eddie Edwards of the System will be taking on BDE in one-on-one competition. Eric Young will also be making an appearance on tonight's show. He prepares to face the TNA Men's World Heavyweight Champion Mike Santana, which that match will take place next week live on TNA Impact. Eric Young won a #1 Contenders Battle Royal on the May 14th episode of Thursday Night Impact. AJ Francis will also be performing for the TNA Impact Zone tonight. So we have the commentators, which always are commentators, Tom Hennepin and Matthew Buglaw. Great audiences at home as the System makes their way down to the ring. Eddie Edwards is going to be going one-on-one with the System in his corner and his wife. Well, Eddie Edwards will be going one-on-one versus BDE. This match was pretty short, but had some decent action in it. The bell rings and BDE fires off. Right hands on Eddie Edwards. He levels him with a springboard crossbody, sends him crashing out of the ring, then lands a dive on him to take him out on the outside of the ring. BDE then dumps Eddie Edwards back in the ring, but Alicia Edwards gets in BDE's face. BDE ascends to the top rope. Eddie joins him up there and lands a back superplex on BDE. He goes for the pin, but BDE kicks out. Eddie lands a chop on his chest. BDE fires backward right hands on Eddie. BDE goes to the top rope, but the System distracts him and the referee. Eddie Edwards gets his knees up in time and delivers a Boston knee party to BDE for the 1, 2, 3. So Eddie Edwards got the win tonight over BDE with the assistance of the System outside. After the match was over, the System continued to beat down BDE, but the newly signed, we've seen him 2 weeks ago, made his debut last week, I believe. Fabian Aichner runs to the ring to come to BDE's aid. The System quickly outnumber him, start throwing out right hands on him, but the former TNA International Men's Champion Leon Slater runs out to the ring. He immediately goes after Cedric Alexander, Brian Myers, and Eddie Edwards on the entrance trap, then lands a triple super kick to Bear Bonson with BDE and Fabian Aichner to send him crashing out of the ring. So BDE had the assistance of Leon Slater and Fabian Aichner. They came down to, so it's like we're setting up something with all 6 of those guys from the System and Leon Slater, Fabian Aichner, and BDE. Could be headed for a 6-man tag or something like that. So we then head over to a video hyping up the main event for tonight, which is the Wicked Gardens match with Matt and Jeff Hardy. Will be in action in the main event in the Wicked Gardens match. So we get back from the first commercial break. AJ Francis makes his way out to the ring. He's going to perform for the TNA Impact Zone tonight. AJ Francis reintroduces himself, says he's the best big man in the business of money, money, money. He says 2026 has been a great year for him in and out of the ring. He then says he lost 300 pounds of dead weight when he kicked Casey Navarro and Rich Swann to the curb. He says half of him produces masterpiece after masterpiece, and says in a venue that has seen the likes of the Rolling Stones, the Beach Boys, the singer Santana, and Tina Turner. he decided that he was going to perform for all the fans at the TNA Impact Zone. AJ Francis then debuts his new song called Walk and calls for the DJ to hit the music. He begins to rap a diss track about Elijah, but Elijah's guitar strum cuts him off, and Elijah makes his way down to the ring. He says he came out just in time before AJ Francis really embarrassed himself, said Elijah. Then asked Sacramento who wants to walk with Elijah. AJ Francis says Walk is his song and intellectual property. Elijah then says AJ Francis obviously photoshopped his own head onto his body and claims that it's really his intellectual property. AJ Francis emphasizes his fitness journey and serves Elijah with papers that state he owns the intellectual property to Elijah, Elias, and Ezekiel, all three different characters that Elias has gone by in wrestling, and his entire music catalog. He says he now owns Elijah. So Elijah plays a new song of his own, which is called No Still Uncle Phil. But before he can play the song, AJ Francis levels Elijah with the right hand and serves him with the papers once again. Some good segment there. Elijah and AJ are really good on the mic. Funny. And Elijah was debuting his new song called No Still Uncle Phil. So we head backstage where we head backstage where TNA Director of Operations, Daria Ray, approaches Indy Hartwell and Santina Marella as they're backstage getting ready for their match coming up. She walks up to them and she makes it clear that she had nothing to do with the decision for Indy Hartwell to re-sign to TNA. So Daria Ray is letting Indy Hartwell that she's not happy about her re-signing. So we're going to go to the next matchup of the night, which was the mixed tag team match. And it will be the daughter of Santina Marella, the former women's TNA Knockouts champion Ariana Grace, and her fiance Shannon Stacks Lorenzo of Birthright will be going up against Santina Marella and Indy Hartwell. Frankie Kazarian joins the commentary desk. Just in there. So we're going to go to the match, Santina and Indy Hartwell versus Shannon Stacks and Ariana Grace in a mixed tag team match. Santina Marella and Shannon Stacks begin the action. The bell rings and Stacks tagged out to Ariana Grace immediately. Ariana Grace dares Santina Marella to punch her and shoves his face. Indy Hartwell gets in the ring and begins to throw right hands to Ariana. Santina Marella then pulls Indy Hartwell off of Ariana Grace and calls for a timeout. But Shannon Stacks tags in and continues to beat down on Santina Marella. He lands a few right hands on him. Santina Marella wears down Stacks with a submission hold. Ariana Grace gets into the ring, but Indy Hartwell beats her there. Grace and Stacks fire off strikes on Indy Hartwell and Santina Marella in opposite corners and look to send them crashing into one another. But Indy Hartwell and Santina stop their own momentum and rain down right hands on Ariana and Shannon Stacks in opposite corners. Santina then puts Stacks in a sleeper hold. And we are back. We go to commercial. Sorry about that. We go to commercial break. So back from commercial break, Shannon Stacks looks to deliver headbutt on Santina. Santina moves out of the way and dumps Shannon Stacks out of the ring over the top rope, but Indy Hartwell and Ariana Grace both tag in. Indy Hartwell levels Ariana with a couple of clotheslines, delivers a spine buster to her, and goes for the pin, but Ariana Grace kicks out at 2. Indy Hartwell runs the ropes, but Stacks grabs her ankle. Hartwell responds by stomping on his hand. Ariana Grace fires off stomps on her in the corner and delivers a twisted neckbreaker to Indy Hartwell. She follows up with a suplex and a basement forearm on her and goes for the pin, but Ariana Grace kicks out at 2. And my phone is messing up now. Apologize about that. Pull my notes back up. Probably should have got a new phone though. Alright. Back to the match. Alright. So another commercial break. So Shannon Stacks and Santino Marella tag in after the break. Santino fires off right hands on Stacks. He lands a hip toss on him and slides on the Cobra sock. But Ariana Grace grabs the Cobra from him. She slides it on her hand and accidentally hits Stacks with it as she aims for Santino Marella. He ducks out of the way. Indy Hartwell also slides on the Cobra as well on her own and delivers one to Ariana Grace as Santino hits one on Stacks. Santino Marella then pins his daughter, Beyonce Shannon Stacks, for the 1-2-3 with Indy Hartwell and Santino Marella both winning this mixed tag team match with the Cobra. So definitely interesting there. But Santino and Indy Hartwell got some revenge tonight. Because last week, Shannon Stacks beat Santino Marella in their one-on-one action. So back from the break, we see Mara Sade, Ali, and Rosemary jump scare the Elegance brand as they are in their dressing room by subtly appearing behind them. Interesting stuff there. Could see either one of the three of Mara Sade, Ali, or Rosemary going for those TNA Women's Tag Team Championship titles soon from the Elegance brand. So we go back to ringside, and the number one contender for the TNA Men's Heavyweight Championship, Eric Young, makes his way out to the ring. But once we got back from the commercial break, we see Mara Sade, Ali, and Rosemary jump scare the Elegance brand in their dressing room. As I said before, back at ringside, Eric Young makes his way out. He is the number one contender to Mike Santana's TNA Championship. Eric Young gets on a mic. He says he's been warning the fans for months that TNA wrestling is sick and poison. He said he exposed Joe Henry and calls Ricky Sosa a flash in the pan, which I haven't seen Ricky Sosa on TNA television yet, or in a while. Then Eric Young then says that EC3 is a former king who was looking for his crown that he outwitted. Eric Young then addresses the TNA heavyweight champion, Mike Santana, says he sees right through him. He says Santana is sick with selfishness and addicted to receiving the approval of the fans, and says he'll bear Mike Santana because he doesn't need either of those things. Then out comes the TNA Men's Heavyweight Champion, Mike Santana. His music hits. He makes his way to the ring, to the crowd. He asks Sacramento what's good and says all he hears from Eric Young is a bitter man trying to convince himself that he's important and irrelevant. He says Eric Young thinks that taking him out will make him the savior of TNA wrestling. But Eric Young says no one has been a TNA wrestler longer than him, and he's seen everyone come and go. He says the only constant, and says Mike Santana's shine will burn out. Well, he says he's the only constant of TNA wrestling, Eric Young. And he says Mike Santana's shine will burn out. He'll be spit up like he was. He says he's willing to bend down and fix TNA wrestling. However, he has to, and promises to deliver a pile driver to Mike Santana to take his TNA World Championship away from him in order to take his power back, which this match will take place next week on TNA Impact. Mike Santana will defend the TNA Championship against Eric Young. Mike Santana said Eric Young makes him laugh and promises to stomp out Eric Young next week. He says they could do things in the ring right now. He said we don't have to wait till next week. We can do things tonight. Eric Young low blows Mike Santana and delivers a massive pile driver to the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. He stared at the TNA World Championship, grabs it, holds it above his head as he stands tall over Mike Santana, leading into their championship match next week on TNA Impact. So we then head over to the BioFlex TNA injury report, where we find out that Elijah is in concussion evaluation protocol from earlier tonight with AJ Francis. Back from the break. The Elegance brand without Ash. No Ash. Not sure where she is. Makes her way to the ring. As Mr. Elegance will be going one-on-one with the Women's TNA Knockouts champion, Lee, in a, I don't know what they call this. I don't understand what, I didn't watch last week, so, but out comes the Women's TNA Knockouts champion, Lee, follows Zaya Brookside. She will be facing Lee at TNA Slammiversary for that Women's TNA Knockouts Championship. She comes out, takes a seat at the announce desk. So this is going to be a man versus woman, Lee versus Mr. Elegance with the Elegance brand. So this was an interesting match. Mr. Elegance makes it a little difficult to watch. The bell rings and the two lock up. The women's TNA champion delivers a hip toss to Mr. Elegance, starts to put down right hands on him. Headler by Elegance, and the personal concierge distract Lee and the referee by hopping up on the apron. The referee ejects Heather, M, and the personal concierge from ringside. Mr. Elegance is doing all kinds of weird stuff in the ring. He connects with the Stephanie Valcour's Devil's Kiss on the Women's TNA Knockouts champion, Lee. And he really was doing the Devil's Kiss for sure. But Lee responds by firing off right hands and left hands on Mr. Elegance's midsection, then sends him crashing into middle turnbuckle, shoulder first, and delivers a boot on his midsection. She fires off a few kicks to him, but Mr. Elegance levels her with a pop-up right hand and ascends to the top rope. Lee trips him, but Zaya Brookside hops up on the apron. Lee levels her, but Mr. Elegance breaks Lee's eyes while the referee has his back turned and connects with the reverse swinging STO on her and pins her. 1, 2, 3. Winner of the match is Mr. Elegance. He has defeated the Women's TNA Knockouts champion Lee. After the match, Zaya Brookside, who was at the commentator desk, she will face Lee for that Women's TNA Knockouts Championship at TNA Slammiversary Live. I believe it's June 28th. She gets on the microphone, Zaya Brookside does, and she says that Lee's TNA Knockouts World Championship is coming home with her at TNA Slammiversary. So I'm Zaya Brookside turned heel, and I'm enjoying what she's doing. I really think she's probably going to get that title at TNA Slammiversary, which would be a big win for her. So we go to the main event of the night. This has always been a shorter stream. It's a 2-hour show, but a lot of commercials. So I'm just now getting back. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the main event. It's going to be the Righteous going up against Broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero, Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy. So This was a very odd match. A lot of good things in this match, though. I enjoyed it. The Righteous make their way down to the ring with several of their followers dressed in all white, joining them to surround the ring. Very peculiar match for sure. Broken Matt Hardy, Brother Nero, follow. Sorry about that. With the Righteous followers heading to the back. This is going to be the Righteous versus the Broken Hardys in a Wicked Gardens match, and it was very wicked. So the ring's all decorated with stuff. It was very, very peculiar match for sure. The bell rings back from the commercial break. All four men begin brawling with one another. The Righteous look to send Broken Hardys crashing into the ropes lined with flowers and barbed wire. So the ropes were lined up with flowers and barbed wire. The Broken Hardys stop their momentum and send Dutch crashing to a trellis featuring more flowers and barbed wire set up in the corner of the ring, which we're going to see this barbed wire come into play during this match. Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, both busted open. So Matt Hardy breaks Dutch's head with a mini garden rake. Brother Nero delivers a double leg drop to Vincent's groin. Vincent rakes Matt Hardy's head across the flower and barbed wire covered ropes, then sends Brother Nero crashing into the ring steps. Matt sends Dutch crashing over the ring steps and sends him bouncing off them face first with Jeff Hardy. He continues to send Dutch's head crashing into the ring steps face first, but all four men return inside the ring. Brother Nero fires off right hands on Dutch, but Dutch levels him as Matt pulls Vincent back out of the ring. He sends him crashing into the ring steps. Dutch knocks Matt back out of the ring. Matt gets back inside. Back from a commercial break, Dutch lands a kick on Matt Hardy. Vincent begins to try to wear down Brother Nero and grabs a flower crown wrapped in barbed wire and hits Brother Nero with it. Matt Hardy then low blows Dutch using the barbed wire wrapped flower crown, and he gets a hold of it. And Jeff sends Vincent bouncing off the top rope. The ropes wrapped in flowers and barbed wire. Matt and Jeff then jam a piece of barbed wire into Vincent's forehead. The Dutch comes to Vincent's aid before they were all bleeding. Before the Broken Hardys land a suplex on Dutch, they use a piece of a flower chain to cinch in a crossface on him, but Vincent breaks the hold. Matt Hardy then delivers a side effect to Dutch. He goes for the pin, but Dutch kicks out and spears Matt through a second trellis covered in flowers and barbed wire in the corner. Vincent and Dutch jam a piece of flower and barbed wire into Brother Nero's mouth, and Jeff Hardy goes to the outside and is laid out, and he begins to foam at the mouth. Very interesting stuff. I saw that he got thrown into there, and then they stuck something in his mouth. But then Jeff Hardy goes to the outside and just starts foaming at the mouth. So he was poisoned by something that was stuck in his mouth. So then the medical officials come out. They put Jeff Hardy on that stretcher on the outside, Brother Nero. Stretcher him out to the back. So he is out of action. He got poisoned at the Wicked Garden. Brother Nero opts to slide back in the ring, but the Righteous double team on Matt. Vincent delivers the orange sunshine to him for the 1, 2, 3. So this match had a lot of weird. The Wicked Garden was definitely wicked. There was, I believe, it was 3 of them at least that were busted open. So it was a hyped up a lot. It was a good main event in my eyes. I enjoyed it. Righteous are victorious. But after the match is over, the lights go out. And when they come back on, the Broken Hardys are nowhere to be found. And that is the end of this show. But obviously, this this show kind of showed everything. As far as seeing some blood, and Jeff Hardy got poisoned this week at Garden, and ultimately it ended up being the downfall because he got something stuck in his mouth and he was foaming at the mouth out there. So be interesting to see where they go from here with this. I saw something posted on X. Maybe they will do a deletion match or something like that. I'm sure that this feud is far from over. But it was a good show tonight. Like I said, we're a little less than 3 weeks, or right at let's see, today's the 4th. I think we're a little bit over 3 weeks away from TNA's anniversary. That is a crazy weekend of wrestling action because we're going to see TNA's anniversary. AEW also has a pay-per-view that weekend, and just announced this week, I believe it was Monday or Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday afternoon. NXT will be having its first ever PLE on the CW network. It will be June 28th, and will be the Great American Bash. As some of the match cards should start taking shape this coming up Tuesday on NXT. And then June 27th, I believe, is going to be the Night of Champions PLE for WWE. So, as I said at the start of this TNA recap show, instead of me doing 2 prediction shows for the NXT Great American Bash and WWE's Night of Champions PLE in Saudi Arabia, we're going to combine them into one. So you guys be on the lookout for that. I do appreciate you guys, the patience, me being out for a week. Like I said, it definitely wasn't intended for it to be out that long. They said it would only be a couple days, but they had to end up doing a lot of work to it. So I do appreciate you guys being patient, and I do apologize for being out, but I'm glad to be back. Should get back into the roll of things tomorrow. SmackDown's a lot longer show, a lot easier to cover than TNA. TNA being taped every week. Like I said, TNA's anniversary coming up next week, live on TNA Impact. Mike Santana is going to defend the TNA Championship against Eric Young, and then Mustafa Ali is going to defend that TNA International Championship against, I believe it's Casey Navarro. So 2 title matches coming up on TNA next week as they are on the road to TNA's anniversary, which I think Mike Santana may drop the title there with his TNA contract suspected on running out late summer. So we'll see if he's going to be there another month, maybe 2. Can't see him being there past August. So we'll see what happens with that. But like I said, thank you guys. I'm going to go ahead and go to the outro. I will be back to tell you guys where you can find me on my social channels that we are live on, where you can find them. Everybody from DWE, the DWE television page, make sure you follow that. We are live on my YouTube channel, my X page, also DWE television page. So make sure you follow the DWE television page on X, and then everyone that's affiliated with DWE television can see in the bio on X. They also have a Twitch page as well, and if you can, follow Talk It Up Podcast, Talk It Up Wrestling Podcast live on YouTube. Hit the like and subscribe button and join them. Miami the Great is live on Tuesdays and Thursdays for Inside the Mind, and they are usually live on Saturdays on Twitter, on YouTube, on Talk It Up Wrestling Podcast, also live on Twitch with DWE Radio, which I believe they have a show coming up Saturday. So make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, and you can join the Greg and Colin and Anthony every Monday, an hour before Monday Night Raw goes live for the rundown. Make sure you check them out Monday. I believe they're on at either noon or 1 p.m. Eastern for the rundown. They will be going over the Raw card hour before Monday Night Raw starts. Get you guys ready for Monday Night Raw. Also, Director Reg, After Slam Podcast, follow him on X and hit that like and subscribe button to him on YouTube, as well as the Smoke Session Podcast as well. Everyone affiliated with Gimmick Table Media. Once again, thank you guys for the patience for me being out. I hope you guys enjoy the TNA show. I'm going to go ahead and go to the outro, and I will be back to tell you guys where you can find me on my socials, what I have coming up for the rest of this week. I will go ahead and give you guys the schedule for next week. Ooh, I'm definitely rusty. Be back in just a second.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go, show recap prediction sports
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go.
All right, this has been your TNA Impact Recap Show live here on the EVP Show, Thursday, June the 4th, 2026. Once again, thank you guys for the patience of me being out for a week. And thank you guys, if you guys are watching live on YouTube or my X page or DWE Television X page, thank you guys for tuning in to the TNA Impact Recap. So if you are watching live on YouTube, if you do go back and watch this live on YouTube, please hit that like button. It definitely helps my channel out. Thank you to the new people that subscribe. I will try to go in there tonight, try to find out who you guys are. But I am up to 227 subscribers. So the goal is for me to try to get to 300 by SummerSlam. So I should be trying, once I get back in the swing of things, hopefully I can try to do something. Try to get some more subscribers to the page. But I do want to shout out to you guys for the Backlash recap show. I did see, I was looking at this morning, we had over 610 views on YouTube. So thank you guys all for that. It's definitely the most I've ever had on any show. I don't even have that many subscribers. So shout out to you guys for showing out on the Backlash recap show. But as far as where you can find me on my socials, it is scrolling across the bottom of the screen in the white letters going across the blue at the bottom of the screen. All my links are in my bio as well as my YouTube page. You can find my YouTube link to my YouTube page on X, on Instagram, and as well as TikTok. On X, if you follow me at EVPCJP, go all the way up to the top of my page. You will see my YouTube page pinned at the top. I've been pinned there for a while. And if you guys ever get a chance to go in there, once you follow me, I'll follow you back. Just hit the retweet button on that YouTube page and share it with your friends. If they enjoy a lot of variety of wrestling content, not just WWE all the time. I mean, it is, but it's not. We do TNA, we do prediction shows, we do LFG. Hopefully, new things to come in the future. I haven't even hit my year mark. I believe it's August. It'll be my 1 year. So it's been a great year. But go ahead and follow me on X at EVPCJP as well as Instagram. Same handle at EVPCJP. I don't post a whole lot on Instagram except for the videos that Miami the Great and the World of Greg make for my upcoming streams. So I do promote and market there for the upcoming stream. Shout out to them for all the videos. They're all great. But if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see my YouTube link is pinned in my bio on Instagram. Also, if you're looking for me on TikTok, you can find me at Brady the Goat 21. That's at Brady BRADYDA Goat GOAT 21. At Brady the Goat 21. Last but not least, most importantly, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. As I said before, you can find my YouTube on X, Instagram, and on TikTok. On Instagram and TikTok, it is in my bio. on X, Twitter, whatever you guys call it nowadays. It is at the very top of my page pinned. But if you can't find it on any of those social media platforms, which you should be able to, you can go to the search bar at the top right corner, type in at the EVP show. I think I'm getting close to 1,000 live videos. We should be getting really close. A lot of YouTube shorts and a couple of pre-recorded videos. Please hit that like and subscribe button and come join us at least 5 days a week on PLE weeks. I do stream every day. With that being said, the schedule for the rest of the week, I will, as I said at the beginning of the stream, I will be back tomorrow, Friday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. I believe we have 2 more SmackDowns, maybe 3 at the most. Let's see. No, I think we have 2 more SmackDowns after tomorrow, so 3 more SmackDowns at 3 hours, and then SmackDown will be going to 2 hours. You can join me tomorrow night. I'm not going to watch it till 8 p.m. Eastern, so you have to come join me tomorrow night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern for the SmackDown recap show. Now, Saturday I'm off. I'll be looking out for the post on X, as I will be making a post probably Saturday for the NXT Great American Bash and the WWE Night of Champions prediction show, which will be Wednesday. I believe it's the 24th of June, which is the same week as Night of Champions and Great American Bash. But we're going to combine them into one prediction show. So be looking out for that post. And as I said, if you've never been on YouTube, or if you've been on YouTube and you've never been on my show, just please comment. Obviously, I have a core that comes in pretty much for all the prediction shows. But if there is someone new that hasn't been on, please reach out and comment on that post. I will get you on for the prediction show. It's going to be a big one. So, but Saturday I'm off, and then come back Sunday, as it's been over 2 weeks, right at 2 weeks since I've done Sunday Night Scoop. I have a lot of news to break. A lot of stuff's been reported, but just stuff that we can go over. Sunday Night Scoop, episode number 23 with EVP at 6 p.m. Eastern Sunday, and then come back later on that night for the second half of doubleheader Sunday at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. Join me for the LFG Season 3, Episode 7 recap show. And then I'm back Monday. New start time. Didn't get to go live Monday. I'm back Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell so you will be reminded when I go live, especially with all these, with WWE being overseas. Join me at 8:30 p.m. Eastern live Monday night for the Raw recap show. Tuesday night, come back and join me at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for the NXT recap show. Wednesday, I will be off. Come back and join me for the 2 championship matches next Thursday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern for the TNA recap show. And the next Friday night, same thing, same place, same channel, 11:30 p.m. Eastern for the SmackDown recap show. And the next Saturday, I'm off. Come join me next Sunday again for Doubleheader Sunday, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern for Sunday Night Scoops with the EVP. And later on Sunday night, come in and join me for the LFG Season 3, Episode 8 recap show. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for your patience coming in to join me for the TNA recap show live here on the EVP show. I'm glad to be back. Hopefully tomorrow we'll get back in the swing of things. Join me tomorrow night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern for the SmackDown recap show. Once again, I am the EVP from the EVP show, Golden Boy, DWE. DWE is the only place to be. Hopefully you guys have a good Friday. I know most of you guys are going to watch SmackDown. Come early. You guys are going to watch SmackDown early. I won't be watching it until 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So come back tomorrow night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern time. Join me for the SmackDown recap show. Once again, thank you guys for all your patience. Me being out for almost a week. And come back tomorrow night and join me for the SmackDown recap show. Good night, everyone.